I have noticed that Polish songs often try to express the contradictory feelings of belonging to a nation and absolutely fucking hating it here. Poles had a strong need for this kind of art. Self-deprecation is seen as virtuous here, helped to cope with tumultuous times, although of course there are lines in the sand where it becomes heretical. Today I decided to look at some of these songs more analytically to find out how Poles have dealt with these contradictory feelings in recent decades. In the second part of the 80s, Grzegorz Ciechowski wrote Don't Ask About Poland under the pseudonym Citizen GC. I don't have a source on this, but a friend told me that the author wrote it under immense pressure from others seeing his talent and offering him to leave Poland and have a musical career elsewhere. Before continuing, I have to point out that in Polish, gender is marked not by pronouns alone, but by the entire form as is common in Indo-European languages, and Poland is feminine. This shapes the image of Poland in the song very strongly. In the refrain, the lyrical subject is telling the listener to not ask why is he with her and not with another, also feminine, or why does the singer want to sleep in her and wake up in her. She is characterized as drunk and tired, and the idea of her being similar to a lover is being put into our minds by saying, she isn't a lover, but I sleep with her. All of this creates an image of Poland as a somewhat toxic relationship that is somehow worth it all, despite the singer being at absolute loss of words and strength in how to describe that worth. The song evokes an image of a drunk man singing Polish anthem, famously starting with As long as we are alive, she lives as well, linking patriotism and Polish history with alcohol abuse. Notably, the original anthem doesn't use the pronoun she, it says Poland lives as well instead, but here it's changed for the mentioned real purpose. Poland isn't anymore, or isn't yet, a totalitarian country, but people keep making very varied in quality covers of this song, and it gets millions of views on YouTube, which isn't the primary publication medium for it, because people still see their relationship with Poland this way. Poland is still full of issues, but now people can live, just like the singer cult. Polish brain drain is happening on a large scale, and the song paints staying here as a virtue. The song Poland by Cult is significantly more visceral in its imagery. Train platforms so ugly eyes explode, puke everywhere, strange violent creatures in uniforms, the beach smells with oil, and people on streets wanting death inflicted on others. Everything punctuated with refrain of I live in Poland. The tone of the song is angry and there is a general sense of being allowed to unveil some kind of reality before the listener. It has interesting YouTube comments. He wanted to write a song about coming back from a party, but wrote a national anthem, says one commenter. Multiple comments stating that only someone being able to sing this with love can be called a patriot. Commenters describe love to Poland as bitter but real. This song appeared in my literature class, but we didn't listen to it. Just read the text. You know how it is with teachers. Culture has to be as dry and indigestible as possible, otherwise it's not art. But to be honest, I care about the song significantly less. The atmosphere of partying against it all feels sort of alien to me. It was sung since 1997, but only published on an album in 1992, so it was censored before by Communist Poland authorities. A song from 95, I Don't Like Poland Anymore, the author jokes about the popularity of that song. At another concert, whatever we will play, half of the place shouted Poland. Wikipedia says that the song was often used at the end of their concerts. They chatted more, definitely, compared to somber, reflective and vague. Don't ask about Poland having more views, and to me, it just works more.
Rozdział 5. Depresja w rodzinie. Dobre rady. Polski mąż. Witajcie w Dan Wideo. Jesteśmy rodziną Jensen. Depresja to smutna dolegliwość, która może spotkać każdego. Dzisiaj zaprezentujemy nawyki, które mogą mieć pozytywny wpływ na członka rodziny dotkniętego depresją.
Regardless, neither of these were controversial with the audiences. They have the will of the people on their side. Let's talk about a song that received a less warm reception. In 2014, Czesław Mozil had sung I Hate You Poland. The song is part of the album Book of Emigrants Part 1, and the author is of Polish-Ukrainian descent and of Polish-Danish citizenship. As your extremely intelligent mind has probably guessed, the song covers the relationship between Poland and diaspora, which historically is a pretty big theme in Poland and was very relevant. Before I'll describe the reception, the song itself jumps between a monologue from an immigrant to the nation itself and descriptions of contrasting experiences in two different countries, aimed at some plural listener. It gets progressively more manic. The reasons for hating Poland are being in control by her, not being able to love her, wanting to come back but not being able for that reason. The lyrical subject was angry at being poor in Poland and now can enjoy his wealth in his new place of living. The poverty there is real and the wealth here is fake, he sings. Then he describes the feelings of confusion, of not wanting to go to the Sunday Mass in Poland, but feeling that the new country is too secular for them, and that the legacy of Poland is alive in the subject and makes them more primitive, less fit for the civilization through being Polish, and that in Poland he became a self-denying person, here he becomes patriotic. Apparently becoming very patriotic is common for all diaspora, not just the Polish one. Either way, none of this sounds very dramatic, not compared to previous songs, right? Just a simple socio-economic situation of immigration makes relationship with my country difficult and strange. What the fuck, I am alienated. The backlash didn't last long. The YouTube ratio of 18k upvotes and 3k downvotes isn't too bad. It's worth looking at the narratives it had. The exemplary comment it received that was picked by our media is hate it here so much, go the fuck back. So it's all settled now. Is the distance between worldly musicians from the rotten West and the Polish population then? Maybe it's because the experience of emigration is just not as common as one of having to friggin' live here. Some commenters find that in Polish enclaves they listen to it at every party. It's just so bizarre to me that the Polish nation will start losing the ability to enjoy hate love songs like this now. Nowadays, most comments on the song are ironically about explaining to others that the song is about love actually, laughing at stupid Poles who couldn't interpret it right, which perhaps is not the right way to go about it either. When I noticed this kind of song existing, I had a slightly different lineup in mind. Lullaby Cult is a recent addition. Originally in its place I planned to put And We Don't Want to Run Away From Here, written by Kaczmarski and sung by Gintrowski. It's a song about a burning mental hospital and how strange the reactions in it are. Not believing in patients, informing about the fire, many still being asleep or not believing in being awake, the soundproof from muffling screams, people refusing to escape when someone asks them, ending in a chore of one person. And we don't want to run away from here. We scream in rage and humility. Our great house is on fire. House for the mentally unwell. Parallels make themselves. It's just so obviously about Poland. So similar to other songs. Was last night commenter on Tekstowo.pl informed me this song doesn't reference the systemic issues of communist Poland. It's a tribute for people who actually burned in a mental hospital. Maybe to you, mentally well people, it feels unbelievable that someone would write a tribute to them. But our great bard was so sensitive, he did it. He had trouble finding God his entire life. I hope that after his death, he finally is at his side. Given how much Kaczmarski beat his wife, daughter and dog, I imagine he very much isn't there. But I suppose it's not that far off from Catholic ethos. Being a passive-aggressive dipshit aside, there is another layer to interpretation of this song. Kaczmarski had a Q&A on Onet.pl in 1999. There he was asked, what is your relationship with the song about the burning crazy asylum? And he responded, it's my last song written in Poland. I believe it's shocking, but I can read the subtext of this question. I don't think of myself as an escapee from Poland and have no reason to be ashamed for what I did in Radio Free Europe. So, even the author himself knew about that reading of the song, though whether he approved of it is unclear, perhaps irrelevant. In song called Testament 95, he mentions many of his songs were misinterpreted. The strongest argument for the relationship with Poland interpretation of the song might be the uploaded in 2007 fan-made teledisc to it. The video opens with a speech from 1981 where General Jaruzelski addresses the citizens of Poland and declares martial law, or directly from Polish, state of war. Slowly, the speech fades into song as photos from the time are showcased to the rhythm of the song. The author, tries to animate them with quick camera movements in and out. They don't have enough photos to fill the entire video, so they repeat them. And in the description it is revealed that they wanted to put at the end a short clip of Joanna Szczepkowska saying that communism in Poland has ended. Despite the flaws, the earnestness shined through and the video has 1.5 million views. Many commentators, aware of this not being the intended interpretation, were praising and arguing for it. The combination of this song and these visuals feels so tremendous that it is easy for a moment to forget that they weren't able to escape from Poland, and the feed isn't quite clean, in the sheer awe of the raw feeling. So this is how the relationship with Poland is. Bitter, ugly, with a lot of alcohol, in constant fight with itself, and that's what makes it real. That's what makes it honest. If you can love Poland like this, you are a patriot, and the country is in bed as long as you live. And that's the portrait of this relationship, painted by people in it.